you were talking about Robin Hood. Let's move on to the 1970s movies of Disney. This is okay. So you make a face. Why?
Because the 1970s is kind of seen as the Bronze Age of Disney. The Bronze Age, because this is where they really start to go down. They struggled once Walt Disney passed away in 1969. They struggled. They struggled to make movies. And I think Robin Hood was one of the ones that made was one of the top box office hits that they had during the 70s. Robin Hood. But it was they really struggled to kind of keep everything alive, and that was when they lost a lot of they kind of let go of a lot of animators, so things were kind of really tight around the studios.
They clearly kept the animator that made Baloo and the snake.
They kept the staples
It goes back to, like I said, that's when they first got that copy machine.
Oh, right. They
so
just like take those frames off, give it to somebody.
I've heard the story goes, and it might not or may be true, but my sister-in-law was telling me a lot of the dance sequences, a lot of the action sequences are actually the same. If you look at it frame for frame, they're almost like the same motion.
It's only in 3 movies. Okay. It's the Aristocats, Robin Hood, and The Jungle Book as well, and Snow White.
Oh yeah.
So they kind of, and it, like I said, it was during the time when they had that photocopy. So
they're like people.
Well, it's like the wireframes of the characters.
Yeah, the same motions and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think there's some YouTube video out there where it shows you like how it's. But I mean, I think, come on, seriously, like they still had to hand draw it. Give me a break. Yeah. Okay, so now moving a little bit further into the 70s, Jordan.
Wait, we barely talked about Robin Hood.
Okay, hold on.
Right, let's go back.
Robin Hood is amazing. Do you guys not love Robin Hood?
No, it's a good movie.
I love Robin Hood. I don't know how that starts the Bronze Age. I feel like that would finish out the Platinum Age. Robin Hood is fantastic. I mean, everything from like just the storyline, obviously. Robin Hood's giving things to the poor, but then the church. Who was the guy in the church?
Friar John.
Oh, I don't know why I said
was it John?
No, it is Friar Tuck. It is Friar Tuck. You're the details, right?
Yeah.
It's Friar somebody.
No, it's Little John and Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. Friar Tuck.
She's right. Let's go with Sarah's.
Let's go with the expert here.
Today, you are no longer details guy.
I said that from the very beginning.
Details girl.
You are now in the Bronze Age.
But yeah, it's just it's just an amazing movie. And
now that's the one where he shoots the arrow, right? Mm-hmm. And then he shoots a second arrow and it goes through it.
Through the first.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's perfect. Yeah, it's just an amazing movie.
Real quick, did you do archery in high school? Did everyone do archery in high school?
Had to,
we did.
Did you like tear up the side of your arms?
I never had like red marks on the side of my arm from hitting it.
No. Why do they give kids in high school a bow and arrow? It seems
but they weren't sharp enough to do anything.
Oh well,
they still hurt when the bow strap would hit your arm.
And there was always a kid. We had a kid at least in our high school who was already into archery. So he came with like the gauntlets on.
That's one of the weirdos. Yeah.
Hey, they're not weird.
They are weird.
They're weird. Well,
all right, so go ahead.
I had shot a bow before then, Bo.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Well, you went hunting.
It was like an Indian one, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like a family member made it. And we shot it. It was awesome.
Had a suction cup at the end of it. Nerf style.
All right, the sheriff, like his voice and everything, is like, I wish I could do voices. I would do his voice right now. But just the way he'd like shake down all the poor people. Like, it was such a great.
Like, he would talk all nice to them while like he's like shaking them, like shaking every last coin that they have.
And he turned the boot, like the cast upside down and like pound it to get the last coin out.
They would make the evil guys so evil. You're just like, man.
And you're rooting for him to steal all their money. It's just the best.
The Ocean's 11 of animation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Okay. We gotta get but I wanted to get you highlighted this. I definitely want to give you some time on this because it's Escape to Witch Mountain.
That is a good movie. I like that movie, the original.
The
new one I think had
The
Rock Johnson.
Oh, it was The Rock. I thought it was Vin Diesel. It's the same guy. I mean, it's
pretty much
just muscle.
Yeah, it's just like
the only reason I wanted to shout out to the housewives of what is it?
Kim Richards, right?
Orange County, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No, Beverly Hills.
You're right, Beverly Hills. I'm glad I didn't know that. I'm glad I got that wrong.
You get to keep your card.
Because Kim Richards was in that one, and she talks about it all the time.
And she's crazy now. she's living out of her car. She's a drug addict.
But anyways, yes, those were good movies. I enjoyed those movies on the Disney Channel.
They were good.
When we were kids.
Yeah. Now the other big live action was Pete's Dragon that you wrote. You highlighted on here.
Pete's Dragon.
Are they going to remake that? They need.
I think I've heard some rumors that they are going to remake that.
I mean, at the end of the day, just start at the top. Just make your way down. I mean, at the end.
No, I don't want that. Man.
I know. They're already working on Dumbo.
Because they're already good. Like they made Cinderella, which was a success, and ever since that was a success, they're like, all right, we got to start putting them out. They have, Jungle Book.
Is Jungle Book? Sorry, I know we talked about it already, but is it live action or is it?
The new
live
one
action?
Is going to be live action.
But the animals
did the live action one.
Yeah, they did.
Well, this is like
I remember that one in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
the guy with like the short hair.
Well, they did a Pinocchio one too, right? With JTT, wasn't he?
Yeah, but those
I don't think
Disney
those-
Channel ones don't count. These are like big
That
theatrical
other one
releases.
wasn't big. The Jungle Book one was big theatrical.
Yeah.
one, and it
But
was
now
good.
they're doing like all of them now.
But they definitely need to do Pete's Dragon. I mean, I don't think enough people have actually seen Pete's Dragon.
2017 maybe is when they're going to release it.
Yeah,
something like
that. Sooner
whenever
the
the
better.
Pete's Dragon songs come up for my kids, my wife's like, "What is this?"
What is
I'm
it?
like, what? You don't know Pete's Dragon?
Something floating candle.
Jordan.
Floating candle in the wind.
I don't know.
It's like a rip off of an Elton John song.
I'm definitely taking that moment that you just sang and I'm putting it somewhere else in this podcast. Maybe at the very end.
Candle in the wind.
I don't think that's right. Anyway.
Anyways, okay. So we had Pete's Dragon. That concludes the 70s. So
Ooh, thank goodness.
okay, then we move into the 1980s. Gerald highlighted Tron.
Okay, Tron was the first movies that used all computer generated graphics. How was that not a big deal?
That's a pretty big deal. I got to give you that.
Deal.
Dude, I love that movie. It's bad, but it's good. Like watching it now,
Was
you're like,
Jeff Bridges in the original one?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he's
Did you
great
see the
in it.
new one? With
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
So
where
bad.
they reanimate.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kloof, fake Jeff Bridges. Yeah, that didn't really go out so well.
You know
but
what?
the old one is
Cool.
like I said, they innovate, and this was the first movies who did all this.
That's the one thing about not even when Walt Disney was there, even afterwards, they always just were on the cutting edge. I mean, like, I don't know how they figure it out, maybe a contract with the military or something, but they are constantly like ahead of everything. They get the latest camera, and Walt would hire like big budget actors and directors. And in fact, in like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, he got the director that was the son of the guy who created like I believe it was Felix the Cat. Like, or not Felix. Or,
I love Felix the Cat. Side story, but I love.
We'll do a
guy.
Felix the Cat episode.
Let's do cats. It was Heathcliff, Felix the Cat,
man.
Garfield.
Yeah,
that'd be
we should
great.
do a cat
episode.
Yeah.
That would be
Put a big
exciting.
lasagna right here in the middle.
Isn't like cute cats like #1 on YouTube things?
That's what we do. Get some of that YouTube.
Yeah, we get some YouTube money in here. This is a cat episode. What are we thinking? We're wasting our time on this Disney stuff.
But one thing about Tron, because we're gonna kind of break here in a little bit, and we'll start doing the parks because I want to go into that. But we'll kind of wrap this up. The last one we want to talk about on here again. You guys highlighted way too many. I can't get to everything.
I did
we
not.
have to-
I did
if
not
you did
highlight
not
as
do
many as other people did.
If you did not do Summer Magic, I'm going to be very upset.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
When was Summer Magic though?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've never
It's
heard
on the
this
list,
movie.
though. You should know it's in the 70s. I think it was in the 70s.
I skipped it because go ahead.
Okay, there's a song in that movie called
Okay.
Femininity. I never saw the movie. It has to be a joke. But it might not be because it was back in the day. But the song is literally like, you need to. Man, I can't remember it now.
But it's a song
You were
about
singing
being
it
a good-
earlier,
it's
right?
about-
I know. You're just singing
I'm
it.
trying to think of the tune, and that's what I can't remember. But it's just like you need to be a girl. You need to laugh, but not loudly, and
Hide your
impress a
truths.
guy, and like don't be yourself because
terrible.
we want guys to like us.
It's like something like air of femininity, and I don't know if it was Angela Lansbury. I don't think so, but it's just another old white woman.
And I don't know where Disney landed back then. Were they pro female?
I think it's just the 70s, man.
Yeah, it's funny going back and like you said, Song of the South. There's a lot of stuff you're just like this, like Pinocchio smoking a giant like cigar and like
Doobie.
and you know what I mean, like
Little kids getting drunk. And,
yeah, it's just like definitely
I
like the
play
whole,
for my daughters. I'm like, this is the way you should behave. My wife gets mad at me, but I'm like, hey.
But see, it teaches a lesson because if you do too much of it, you become a donkey.
Exactly. So
Right.
it's not a good lesson.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're gonna finish the movies with this.
Donald Duck?
No, Little Mermaid, bro.
You got Donald Duck on your shirt.
I was doing on the rock, bro. Whole new world. Come on, man. I
That's
gotta
Aladdin.
sing.
The world's Aladdin.
No, what am I singing? What am I singing? Oh, look at these things.
Isn't they neat?
Isn't they neat?
This is why we do a podcast and not a band. Anyways, Little Mermaid. That is the last one on this list before we get into the 90s. Any comments?
It's a good movie. Little Mermaid.
That was kind of when that's considered a Renaissance era for Disney.
Like back to form, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. They put so much money into the production of this movie. They had to ship out the making of bubbles. They had to ship out to some art school in Japan and be like, just make a gazillion bubbles, and they just
make them good.
Yeah, just threw them in there. Just everything had to be perfect. And I think the musical
was great.
I love
the sequel.
Seagull.
Oh,
seagull.
I thought you said the sequel. I was like,
The
what?
Jewish
No,
seagull?
It's terrible.
No, the seagull is so funny. You know, just like naming random stuff. This is a thingamajig. You know, like duh. You never heard of one of these? Like, the whole movie was really cool because it saw the world from a different angle.
Yeah,
like, they were seeing our trash and the things we throw away, and they were like, "Oh, isn't this so cool? This is for the people
fork,
up
what is
there."
this?
Like, oh my god. Yeah, it's so cool. Plus Sebastian, what was the song he sings?
Sebastian, Under the Sea.
Under the Sea. Yeah.
Under the sea.
Here's a song where he says, "Darling, it's better downward.
It's wetter. Take it from me.
See, now we got the songs. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys picked up on the songs.
Kiss dead girl.
But I
I hated that song. I hated that song.
I love that
still bothers me.
song. I have a snow globe that Gerald gave me, and it's Ariel and Eric together in a boat, and like all the fish are around them singing and stuff. So
Yeah, I just the Kiss the Girl song when that one comes. That's my least favorite of all the. Yeah.
But I definitely feel old. Rewatching that movie, I was like, yeah, Ariel, you are too young. You need to stay in the ocean.
Right?
Go back to school.
Listen to your dad.
Yeah, you're ditching class like with your sister. Like, just go back. Just don't rush into it, girl.
Yeah.
Calm down.
All right. So now that we've got, go ahead. Were you gonna?
You want to go? You continue.
Okay.
It's your show,
David's
David.
show.
It's not my show.
Yeah.
We have a lot to get to. I want to get to the parks.
We're at the end. We're 90s. What do you mean?
I know.
Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Well,
So
technically, Little Mermaid was
89.
like, 1989.
No, we didn't even
November.
mention Flounder's name. How dare you?
Flounder.
Flounder's
The fat
Flounder's
friend.
the reason why Sarah won't eat fish.
I remember having a
Wait
flounder
a
like
second.
bath toy, like when I was a little kid. Like I played with flounder. This meant a lot to me, and you just want to skip past it.
Wait, you don't eat fish because flounder?
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to? Why
Or
does
Sebastian's so
sense?
delicious.
I have something real. All right.
He
so
says it in the song. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be found if you're on the dish."
Well, the
Yeah,
chef, right?
exactly. Yeah.
the chef.
all right.
Sorry, we'll go on, David. What would you like to do with
Yeah,
your
what do you
show?
want to do, man?
Okay, so let's talk about the Disneyland parks, or Disney parks, right? Because I don't want to say Disneyland. But that was the first one that was built, correct?
Yes.
Disneyland in the 50s? 57.
1955.
55. And I have
Don't know the shirts, man. 55.
Oh, is that what that is?
I
Yeah.
thought that was
Huh.
55th anniversary. I guess.
I don't know. See, I don't know.
It's the 60th.
Now it's the 60th.
But basically,
I thought when I saw those they were fun.
all the ones that say
That
55.
was 5 years
it's-
ago, yeah.
now the story goes is that the reason he built it is because he just wanted to play with his toys, right? Because he would like drive the fire truck around every morning.
It's a little bit more than that. So in the 1930s, when his kids were still little, he would take them to weekends was for dad. So he would just spend the whole weekend with them. He would take them to parks that had like carousels and whatever, but he could never participate. He would always have to sit on a bench on the outside watching them have fun.
Right.
So he kind of started mulling around it, and he was like, oh, well, maybe I could make a park near the studios where people could enjoy rides with their children. And then in the early 1950s, he went to an animator and then turned into an Imagineer, or Bryman, and was like, look, I need you to help me out with this. And they drew out a plan for Disneyland, because at that time he also had little trains in his backyard that he was just like, he would ride around, he would invite some of the animators to his house, and he would
I like
take
seeing
his
those
kids.
videos of the old trains, like
Yeah.
these grown men and these
It's
tiny
just
little
this
trains.
tiny little train, and they're like, and it just brought him a lot of joy. So he was like, okay, so he's like, I'm gonna put a train there, and then he asked Herb Ryman, they only gave him like 48 hours to draw it, this huge, massive map of what he thought Disneyland would be, so that he could take it to investors and be like, hey, give us money so we could build this.
And the cool thing about that with Disneyland was he always talked about when you finish a movie, you put it in the can and it's done. But Disneyland never stops changing; it never ends. You can always make it better.
As long as there's imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never be finished.
and
That's what he
property.
It's like, I gotta buy those hotels so we can keep expanding like Walt wanted.
Well, that's why Disney World is so much cooler because he just bought.
Yeah, he
Big
bought
ass
yeah.
piece of
bunch of
land in the
space.
middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Space
Yeah.
will never be an issue for them.
No, never.
Now
have
that
to
you
take
can
like
buy a house, you can actually buy a house in Disneyland, technically, right?
Walt
in
Disney
Florida.
World.
Disney World.
Right, Disney World in Florida. I'm sorry.
What's the city? It's not Buena Vista, is it?
I think it is Lake Buena Vista.
It is, yeah.
That's awesome.
You have to take trams and all across that place to get from one park to another. Like
it's cool though. They got the transportation on lockdown. Like we all went with your now wife, but that was the coolest time. It's probably one of the best vacations I've ever had.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time.
But I mean, you fly into Orlando, you take a Disney bus, and they take all your stuff, but they put all the stuff in your room for you, so you don't have to do it. And then all the transportation from every of the 4 parks, whatever.
Yeah,
it's all provided by them. You don't need to rent a car or any of that. It's fantastic.
Here's the reason to do it. When you put your luggage on the plane, okay, and you go to Florida. If you get this, what's it called? It's some kind of magical ticket.
Magical train or
whatever.
Express.
You show up at your hotel. It's in your hotel before you get there. I was like, oops.
And that was how many years ago was that?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
That
but now
was
it's
2009, wasn't it?
Yeah, but no. But I want to say you used to work in the parks, right? Mm-hmm. So Sarah used to work in the park. So I always loved going
on both coasts, Disney World and Land.
So I know, isn't that awesome?
Well, Sarah, is it awesome?
No, it is not awesome. Do not work there. Work anywhere else and make more money.
No, but the one thing I always loved going when we would go to the parks, and we would always come visit you guys in California when you lived in California. It'd always be interesting because we'd be like, oh, we're gonna go see Gerald and Sarah, and then they'd be like, oh, we'll just meet you at Disneyland, and like, because we could just get in, for free or whatever. It's just like this weird, like, when you went as a kid, it was like, okay, you have a plan. You have to hit all of these rides. Right. You only have a limited amount of time where it's just like, oh, we're just going to have dinner and then we're going to leave. I'm like, wait, I'm not
there. We would just go eat and just people watch because we can do that. And it's just, I don't know, like as a kid, I went to Disneyland as a kid with I think my mom or grandma or whatever. And it was that structured plan thing. And it's just not fun. Because like we have to hit all the rides because we're not going to do this for another 10 years. And that's how families are now. But it's nice and it's a luxury just to kind of go there and just enjoy the park.
Absolutely.
Ride just a couple rides you want. If it's too busy, we'll ride it next time, and just sit down and eat. And
my mom would
watch
always
the crazy
make us
families.
watch all the plays.
Yeah, Mom.
I wanted to watch like Beauty and the
you know what?
Beast
Those
play,
are some good ones,
and
though.
like we'd have to go to the Lincoln thing.
That's
we
the worst.
have to always go to those.
Mr.
Lincoln
I love great moments with Mr. Lincoln, with Abraham Lincoln.
Boring.
Amazing.
All
I
of
love
those.
them.
All
love
those
them.
plays are so. I don't care. I don't want to see the live action play. I want to go ride a ride.
The way that they're doing it now is pretty interesting. They have Mickey and the Magical Map. It's in the Fantasyland Theater, and his head, like he can move his mouth, and they bring like a lot of it's very technical.
Yeah, the
and
Mickey
electronic.
characters that comes around the park
cool.
and even like signs and stuff. His mouth moves now.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're like blown away. It's cool.
Mickey can talk for real now.
Yeah.
Because what is it?
They just make kiss sounds.
They
They
can
can't
make
talk,
kiss sounds.
obviously.
Right.
And so
A lot of like the mouth.
Yeah.
The mouth,
Yeah, and a lot of,
blowing
like-
kisses.
now the from what you've told me, Sarah, the face character is like you want to be. That's the top, right? That's the top of like that's the ones like the Snow White,
The princesses.
Yeah, because you don't have to wear this giant Mickey head on your. The second tier is the other characters, Mickey Mouse, right? That's like the next best job in Disney.
No, everybody wants to be Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
Oh, that's
And
number
Minnie
one.
So
Mouse.
he's above, and then the face characters. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Mickey and Minnie are at the top, then the face characters, and then just everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like Pluto. How far down is he?
I don't know.
probably
That
up
wasn't
there
my
quite a
department,
bit.
so I don't know.
No, Pluto doesn't walk on all fours. That would be pretty brutal to ask a boy. Walk around like a dog.
So demeaning.
Well, now it's going to be R2D2. It's going to be the bottom of the barrel. Like, you need to squeeze into that trash can and roll around, squeak at people all day.
Now they are. We talked about this, I think, a long time ago. But they are expanding the park. They're going to do Star Wars Land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when is that supposed to be done?
2017?
No, 2019.
Oh, God, no.
Too far away.
long.
Now,
Star Tours was already there, man.
They have a new Star Tours now.
Yeah,
Do they?
it's
They
on
finally
there. It's pretty
revamped
cool.
it. It's legit.
Yeah.
It's 4D now.
Oh, I just saw when we were in Disney World last. That was like 2 years ago. But they redid the Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Captain
Oh,
EO.
yeah. Captain EO.
Yeah, it was,
I remember seeing that.
Awesome.
I
As
remember.
a kid, it was so much cooler.
Yeah, I went back.
Later,
It's so
trash
cheesy
cans.
now. And, yeah.
You know what they need to do? They need to go back. Go get Rick Moranis and make another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. What is he doing?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was amazing.
Yeah, they need to make another one. We need to make.
Honey, I Shrunk
Three.
the Audience.
Yeah, Honey, I
that
Shrunk
was
the
a
Audience.
show,
is what it
right?
was.
And that was cool, but they do need to do another one.
What is he doing? I mean,
I think his
Little
wife died
Giants
of
too?
cancer and he's taking care of his
Little
kids.
Giants.
oh well, okay. Well, then never mind. Get somebody who looks like him. I'll do it. But the other big thing about Disney, well, the Star Wars expansion. So they've had to buy more property, or they've had to.
No,
They
they're
bought some
using-
stuff across the street, though, right?
Well,
Cross
they
Harbor,
are using
Hotel.
current property. They are moving some of the backstage services to an additional property. So they bought like a parking lot or something like that.
Well, they bought that hotel across and stuff. Right?
I just want to know, like,
They're doing it at both parks, right?
Adventureland or California
Star Wars
Adventure.
Land, I thought was just Disneyland.
Star Wars Land
I
is
think it's
just
both
Disneyland, and then the Hollywood Studios, I think, is getting their own Star Wars Land as well.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I've always wanted to know, like, the backstage of, like, all the... Because I hear, like, Disney... Is it Disney World or maybe it is Disneyland? Is, like, there's two... Or I think it's, like, Epcot is, like, 2 levels. Like, what you use, and then down below is, like, a bunch of tunnels.
No, Epcot is... they're all just one level. It's just backstage. Disney World Magic Kingdom is they got the tunnels. You enter in, like, at one point, and then everything else is underneath in tunnels. Disneyland is just all one story. So.
Here's the thing. I've never seen, like, any kind of fight at Disneyland. I've never seen, like, any kind of altercation. It's like they
definitely happen for sure, but they
they shut that down real quick.
Yeah.
Don't they have like a jail?
Yeah, Disneyland jail.
They got Disneyland jail.
The farthest I've ever gotten was into Disney security, and I don't remember why I was there, but I saw like
me neither.
I was all like looking around. No, I mean really, it was for work.
It's like,
it was while I was still there, so I was just like trying to like look, and the security person that worked in security was like, "Stop!" And I was just like,
"Stop looking."
Yeah,
mapping it out, going to case the joint,
Yeah.
Ocean's 11 style. I don't know what you would go in to break out.
I went with friends at Disneyland once, and we were like, "Don't go to Disneyland jail. That's like, it's worse than regular jail."
They just keep playing "It's a Small World" over and over and over.
Don't drop the corn dog.
Oh, one thing they don't sell gum at Disneyland, right? Smart.
That is smart.
And they banned selfie sticks.
they did ban selfie sticks.
Is that
People are bad apples.
Is that because people are taking it on the ride, or
Yes.
Oh,
And then they said, "Hey, not on rides," and people kept doing it. So now you can't even bring it to the park anymore. Bad apples.
Fine with me.
yeah, I didn't.
What
I'm
do you
not.
need that?
Here's the funny thing. Remember that you would buy the photo of you sliding down, Splash Mountain or whatever. But now just everyone takes out their phones and takes the crappier photo
You're
version
not
of it.
supposed to do that, but yeah.
I don't think they've never stopped us, but they know that you're going to buy other merchandise. They don't care.
Yeah, they're like, we got you.
Yeah, we got you in the park. That's all we need.
Because how much are the tickets now? Like 150.
They're
They're
expensive.
ridiculous.
But
Yeah, it's a lot.
if you get a Coke can, you get $6.50 off.
That's universal. You get a free year if you turn in a Coke can.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous. But the other big thing that I wanted to talk about is with are they going to expand anything else in California Adventure, or is it just they did the Cars Land?
Cars Land was the last one.
Yeah,
But they're not-
Cars Land was the last one. Right now, they're just kind of like, oh, we're kind of happy with where it's at. They're going to redo some things in Cars Land, but there's not anything
No
right
big
now.
plans.
That they're
No, I've
working
never
on.
understood in the Adventureland. They have that California ride.
Soaring, California.
Soaring California. But I'm like, we're in California. I don't need to soar California. I'd like
They're,
to soar
changing that. I
Florida
think it's
because
like-
I'm in California.
Okay, yeah, but you're in California, but people come from all around the country and want to know the
Also in
sights and
California.
sounds of California.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's boring.
I love soaring.
I'm in
That's
California.
awesome.
I would like to
They're
soar
updating
Florida.
that. I think it's like a
and
world
then when I'm in
tour
Florida,
now.
feel free to soar California. I'd be happy to do that in Florida.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a pretty
I'm in-
big ride in Florida. It always has a really long wait. And I'm always
See?
like,
But when you're in California, the smell of oranges, I mean, I kind of smell those a lot. Like, all over the San Joaquin
Such a
Valley.
hater. Such a hater.
I just say
I love that
they
ride.
could make it soar, and you can even keep the oranges smell. Just say it's Florida.
Yeah, that's not that far off. Just change the
it's just a bunch of like
the park
wetlands.
is called California Adventure. You jerk.
Maybe that wasn't a good plan. That's all I'm saying.
Now the what was I going to say? There's some people that have the ability. I don't believe this, but maybe this is true. To rent out the park, you can actually pay. That's unfair. What if
It's
I
not
came
like-
across the world to come to
I
Disney
think it's
World?
like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You must.
Still,
It does happen though. I think it was my brother's mom or something. She went and they were like, "Oh, sorry, they rented it out from like 7 on." And they just
For
had to
special
leave.
events.
yeah,
at
they call it
7
a
o'clock.
special event.
how do they do? That seems
I know,
unfair to
I
They
all.
give Disney a crap ton of money.
No, I know why Disney does it.
I
I'm
want
saying
a prorated ticket though.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $110 to leave at 6 o'clock.
I wonder if they get away with it because like all the restrictions. Like you ever read the back of the ticket? You know, it's like
Right.
we have your firstborn deed to your house.
Right.
We can change times anytime we want, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's because what do they probably pull? I would guess somewhere in the range of like 10 million in profit every day.
Yeah, I would
Who
assume.
knows?
How much
More
is-
than that.
Corn
for
dog
sure.
is $18 and did you know Doritos
Corn
were
dog's so good,
invented
though.
at Disneyland?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that little tease there because we're gonna come back.
That's a tease.
What?
Doritos being invented. At
Yeah,
Disneyland?
dude.
I feel like
Don't
that's
you want to
the
learn
whole
more about
story.
Doritos? But yeah, we're gonna do a second Disney episode. It's gonna be modern Disney. It's not gonna have Pixar, right? We're just gonna
just Disney,
because we're gonna do another Disney. Pixar. There's too much Disney stuff.
There is way too much Disney.
Just like our prizes, like that.
Good one, David.
Wow, David.
Nice segue. So going back to the prizes, I'm not going to list them all over again, obviously, but definitely go donate toys, books, games to your local charity, like Hulk that Jordan is demonstrating here, and then of course. Snap a photo real quick. You can do it selfie. We don't ban selfie sticks like Disney. And then hashtag SDS giveaway. Or you can, of course, send us a picture of it through our email. Our email address, again, Gerald is?
sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Jordan, what is it? Get it right.
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
All right, there we go. And you can, of course, find our podcast, our audio version of the podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, also, of course, on iTunes. And then, of course, we put video up on YouTube. So if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube. Watch our video. Right?
Give us some of that YouTube money.
Yeah,
just kidding.
22 cents.
Well, not really.
We're almost a quarter.
Yeah, we're almost there.
After like 3 weeks.
And again, we want to give a big props to our sponsor, 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. Of course, check out all their great stuff. You can see reading logs. Again, state by state, they have all the different libraries working with the program. Like you said, you can read all seven of the...
Seven Narnias.
100
I did read those as a kid. They are great books.
They are great books. But of course, you can always read smaller stuff too, right? Get through it a little bit quicker.
Country Mouse, City Mouse. There you go. Read that 1,000 times.
Done. All right. So thank you for checking out the podcast. Bye.
See ya.
Later.